Vande Jagatkaranam Vande Pannagabhushanam Shishidharam Vande Pasunam Patim Vande Surya Shishanka Vandinayanam Vande Mukunda Priyam Vande Bhaktajana Ashrayam Chavaradam Vande Bhaktajana Ashrayam Chavaradam Vande Shivam Shankaram. Friends, the entire Upanishadic literature is Yoga Shastra. The essence of the Upanishads, the concentrated spirit of the Upanishads is made available to us in the Bhagavad Gita. That's why at the end of each chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, we find that particular conclusion, Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. It is the essence of the Upanishads. It is the spirit of Brahma Vidya. It is crystallized in the form of Yoga Shastra. And that Yoga Shastra in practice we are observing in our Yoga University. So while practicing yoga here, the connection is eternal. Right from the Vedic literature to the Upanishadic literature, from the Upanishadic literature to the Bhagavad Gita, up to that it has been beautifully propounded, explained, given to us in a beautiful form. That is being practiced here. What is the benefit if we practice yoga? That benefit part of the yoga, that the practical application part of the yoga is explained, it is elaborately described, it is illustrated in the Ramayana and in the Mahabharata. You see the connections. Vedas are the concentrated, subtle form of entire cosmic knowledge. And they are available in the Upanishadic literature. Upanishadic literature has the Yoga Shastra. And that Upanishadic literature we find in the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita as it is described. Up to that it is theoretical. What is its practical application? How is it to be made use of? In what way it is useful to us in our day-to-day life? It is in what way useful to the posterity, to the future generations? For the sociological applications, for the scientific foundation, for the psychological unfoldment, for the spiritual further evolution, all that description, practical application we find in the Ramayana, in the Mahabharata. We take today how it is practically applied. Having come to Prashanti, we are by this time very, very familiar with the 4 streams of yoga. One is strong determination. It is said in Raja Yoga. All of us have the urge to love, urge to be loved. What is life if we don't have somebody to love us, somebody whom we love, somebody or something, whatever it may be? Similarly, we have the urge to know the truth about what we love. And we would like to serve that object of love or person of love. And serving that object of love or person of love is Karma Yoga. The very spirit of prema, love, is Bhakti Yoga. And attempt to know the truth about that object or person or thing is knowledge, Jnana Yoga. the very determination to be established in all the three yogas or the rest, that is Raj Yoga. It is a connection of all, an assimilated, absorbed part of the yogic exposition we find in the Ramayana. Normally people question, can we have children if we drink payasam, sir? In my hostel, every Sunday, I prepare a special payasam. Pal payasam we call it. 8 liters of milk, only 1 liter of rice, and no water. We put honey or sugar or whatever it may be, and it is boiled, and it is like cream. Such cream, such pudding, rice, such payasam has come out of the homa fire. Dasharatha Maharaj received that vessel of gold in which there is that payasam. He gave it to his 3 wives, Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi. They conceived, they became pregnant, they delivered 4 children, Ram, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrugna. And this is the story. A modern student would immediately question, every day I am drinking payasam, I have not conceived. In my hostel I have more than 2,000 children. If everybody is to conceive, where am I to keep all their children? By drinking payasam, if we conceive, is Valmiki a fool then? Why should he write a cock and bull story? He is Adikavi, the first poet, the first seer. He is the person who has propounded the theory of the entire Yoga Shastra. A great rishi, an excellent researcher. Can he afford to be a fool? What is its significance? For the children to be produced, 3 requirements are there. 1, the seed. The other, the kshetra, land. The third, the appropriate time. If you bring the apple seed and sow it in Bangalore, the tree won't come. A particular climatic condition is necessary as it is in Kashmir. We cannot have apple trees grown here. The proper environmental condition, climatic condition, and that too time in the rock. If we sow the seed will be burnt, it will not have the plant grown from a rock. The soil should be appropriate. The soil is good, the seed is also very good, but the time is wrong in scorching summer, it will be burnt. So 3 factors are essential, and those 3 factors, when they are favorable, we call it the appropriate time. Seed is procreation. Procreation is continuation of activity. From the seed comes the plant. Plant grows to be a tree. Tree will have the flower. Flower will become the nut. Nut will become the fruit. Fruit will have the seed. Seed will again sprout. This is the cycle of activity. It is Karma Yoga. The entire activity, the cycle of activity is Karma Yoga. And Sri Krishna beautifully says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tisyatya karma krita. Nowhere do you find stagnation. Everything, everywhere is in motion, in movement, in activity. This continuous, eternal cycle of activity, procreation, continuation, cessation, and again procreation, again continuation, again cessation, srishti, sthiti, laya. This eternal activity is called Karma Yoga. And this is done with sweetness. The man should have love for the woman should have love for the man, the gardener should love the seed should be properly fostered. Everywhere there is that binding force, that involvement, that commitment, that longing for each other, that beloved attitude, that is prema. The seed and the soil should stick to each other. Everywhere, without prema, there is no activity. Earth has the gravitational pull. It is its love. Everywhere in the entire universe, whichever draws, whichever invites, whichever brings our attention, is all the loving force. And for the ultimate truth, the truth of the nature, the truth of the earth, the truth of the wind, when we have that eternal knowledge, all the three factors. Payasam has three major components. Number one is milk. Milk is symbolic of knowledge, knowledge of truth. Jnana pal, milk. And jnana, symbolically, just as we have in national flag three colors, saffron for sacrifice, white for purity, green for prosperity. Everywhere we have these symbols. Swastik is a symbol. Boys and girls have the symbol of heart for love. We live in a world of symbolic language. The first symbol, therefore, in this is that prema and knowledge, milk. Sweetness is that love. Boy loves the girl, calls her my sweetheart. Has he tasted her heart? Is it not full of blood and blood vessels? Is it ever anywhere sweet? It is the love that makes him feel sweet. The second component of payasam is the sweetness. Seed is for procreation, karma, and that is your wheat or rice or whatever it may be, the food content. That only over the years becomes the seed. Three components in payasam. The seed component is, or the wheat or rice component is the karma yoga. Milk component is the jnana yoga. Sweet component, whether it is honey or sugar or jaggery or whatever it may be, that is the bhakti yoga. All the three, if they are combined, you don't have the payasam, they have to be boiled. And that is your determined tapasya. Now come to Dasharatha Maharaj. He is a determined man. He wanted to have children. For that, what is required? He has total control over his body, mind, intellect, equipment. Dasha Indriyas. 5 sense organs, 5 motor organs. Jnanendriyas are 5, Karmendriyas are 5. Sense organs are called jnanendriyas, the sense of taste, smell, touch, etc. Karmendriyas, the hands, legs, etc. All the 10 indriyas are under his control, determined man. Also he is determined to have children, posterity, prosperity, good children. And his 3 wives, Kaikeyi, he loves most Madhuram, sweet. Sumitra is such a pious lady, she is a jnani. And we find in Kausalya, the service activity, Pativrata, Dharma, always serving, Karma Yoga. The 3 ladies represent the 3 yogas, Karma, Jnana and Bhakti. Dasharatha Maharaj himself represents the Raj Yoga. When all the 4 yogas are put together, when the fire of Homa, in the fire of Homa, when the 3 are boiled, Bhakti, Jnana and Karma Yoga, the result is S-VYASA. That is capable of producing. Is Dasharatha Maharaj impotent? Certainly not. He already had a daughter by name Shanta, and she was married to Rishyasringa. Kausalya is not a barren lady, she was already a mother. First there was a girl born to Dasharatha and Kausalya. It's not impotence. They are not barren. The 3 are not able to come together. If the seed is available in Kshetra, the woman is not ripe enough to receive the seed. If both of them are not available, the appropriate time is not available. And therefore, for the bringing up of the children, for the production of the children, for the production of any activity to that matter, what is required is a combination of all the 4 yogas. And that they have waited. Swami Vivekananda was asked a question. What is necessary to produce good children? And he gave a beautiful definition. It is Mano Nigraha, Atma Nigraha, self-control. And how do you call that child? All prayer-born children are Aryans. We have to pray for the children. We have to observe austerity for the children. We have to do tapasya for the children. And if they are lust-born, they are non-Aryans, Kama-putras. In the Mahabharata, for 56 days, Bhishmacharya sat after the Yuddha. Sri Krishna took the 5 brothers Pandavas for instruction from Bhishma. Dharmaraj asks a question. Sir, who has the qualification to marry? What is the to become an MP? There is a qualification. To become an MLA, there is a qualification. To become a teacher, there is a qualification. To be the president, there is a qualification. Similarly, is there a qualification for getting married, boy or girl? And Bhishma says, yes. Who is qualified? He or she who has conquered lust, fascination for the body. When you are drawn to the body, real, genuine prema is less. When there is overflowing prema, then the body may be utilized as an instrument for it. Mohavesha is an impediment. Marriage is not a license to lust. Lust means kama. Marriage is not a license to lust. It is a sacred trust reposed in the conquerors of lust that they would produce boys and girls of sterling character to be the citizens of this country. Such children will be the pillars. Such children will be the prop, they will be the supporters of our civilization, supporters of our culture, they will uphold our national integrity. All lust-born are a nuisance to society. Today, we have only lust-born children. It's an accidental birth. If you still go to the Puranic literature, Diti and Aditi are the wives of a rishi called Kashyap. Aditi is a divine lady, a pious lady, a pure lady. At the appropriate time, lovingly for each other, they have met and the children are devas. Aditi is a pious lady. Diti is Daitya's mother. Daitya is a Rakshasa. One evening, Sankhya Samaya, this lady was enamored of her husband. She had the urge for procreation. She had the lust. She tempted her husband, pulled him, dragged him to the bed. And when the sun is about to set, that Sandhya Samaya is not the appropriate time for the man and woman to meet. And she conceived. Father says, these rascals will be Rakshasas. Time is very, very important. Early in the morning, 45 minutes before sunrise, whatever you read, it will be registered. The time is most important for taking food. Time is important for taking exercises. Appropriate time is important for your concentrated effort. Everywhere, time factor. Dasharatha Maharaj, Kausalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi could not get the appropriate time when they both were ready. And that is the reason the whole birth of Rama, Lakshmana, Bharat, was delayed. Now they are determined, like Dhruva. They have observed the penances. Marana, they concentrated on the children, like Dhruva. I want the child, I want the child, I want the child. Any seriously, sincerely aspired for desire will be fulfilled. There is no prayer which is unanswered. If the prayers are not answered, our concentration is less. Show me a single case in either the present day world or in the old days, the prayers are not answered, impossible. It is our deficiency. While praying, it is to be directed towards the God, and prayer must be pure. Our prayers should not be interrupted, disturbed with the worldly desires. Sankalpa is in the beginning. Example, when you take up the book, you take the book only to prepare for the examination Sankalpa. While reading the book, I must get first class, I must get first class, I must get first class, you don't do it. This is the first and foremost requirement. When we pray, our prayers must be pure. They should not be adulterated. Coming back to our Ramayana story, Dasharatha Maharaj is symbolic of Raja Yoga. Kausalya is symbolic of Karma Yoga. Sumitra is of Jnana Yoga. Kaikeyi of Bhakti Yoga. And they have come together. They have performed the Homa fire Yajna. Yajna is a welfare activity. Their children are not meant to be at home. They are meant to be the servants of the society. Prajakshema. It is for the welfare of the society that we are expected to study. It is for the welfare of the study that we are expected to acquire knowledge. It is for the welfare of the society that we are expected to do any activity, and that is Karma Yoga. All the four came together, performed that Yajna. Yajna means welfare activity, and the sacred Homa fire brought out that gold vessel of S-VYASA, which is a combination again of the three components, Bhakti, Jnana and Karma, and there is austerity, Tapasya. When we follow the spirit of it, the significant undercurrent of it, even today we will have good children, good outputs. Everywhere our ahankara interferes, our possessive nature interferes, yoga is spoiled. Yoga is not selfishness. Yoga is selflessness. When yoga is attributed to the selfish desires, it may even become poisonous. If poison used in small quantities is medicine, medicine used in large quantities is poison. Poisonous it will be if yoga is misused. Let yoga be properly understood in single word. It is love, it is seva, it is tyaga, it is for the welfare of the society. Anything, any activity, any thought, any action, everything is prompted by that yogic spirit. The entire Bhagavad Gita is Yoga Shastra, Upanishadic literature is Yoga Shastra, Vedic literature is Yoga Shastra, and that yoga is being implemented in this university, having come to Prashanti Kutir, having been the students of this great university. Let us to some extent reduce our lust, to some extent reduce our selfishness, develop prema, develop service activity, develop our approach to the assimilation of truth, and let us live for the society's welfare. They alone live who live for the welfare of mankind. The others are more dead than alive, is Swami Vivekananda's statement. Named after Swamiji, we are running this university. Let us be a combination of all the four yogas. Let us be determined. Let us be loving. Let us be truthful. Let us be serving. Let us try to become real yogis. And the best example is Sri Krishna Paramatma, very loving, highly playful, excellently truthful, and 100% determined to translate his plans into action. Let us meditate on Sri Krishna.